Brace yourself as we delve into the heart-pounding realm of snake encounters. In this video, we unveil 10 spine-chilling instances where humans and animals came face-to-face with from a deadly cobra strike to a tourist getting too up close and personal. Get ready for a thrilling adventure like no other. The aftermath. What you're gonna see is the aftermath of a snake attack, which can be quite disturbing. Vietnam, a group of boys were walking to school when they unknowingly came across a mother snake's nest. The snakes had hidden themselves under some tarps on the ground, so the boys didn't notice them at first. Unfortunately, one of the boys got bitten by the snake. Another boy quickly called for help, and that's where the video starts. You can see the injured boy lying on the ground, foaming at the mouth and in critical condition. Luckily, a person who handles snakes had some anti-venom at home, so they hurriedly took the boys there. But the snake handler's job wasn't over just yet. They needed to find the snake responsible for the attack. When they removed the tarp, they discovered 3 large cobras and many tiny baby cobras. Seeing that the snakes had sought shelter and made the tarp their home. The boy was fortunate that help arrived promptly, and he did eventually recover from this terrible attack. Angry Mom. If you like reptiles, you should check out the Jay Prehistoric Pets YouTube channel. Jay, the person in the video, shows how he interacts with these animals, especially the snakes he breeds, every day. He's been bitten by these snakes several times, sometimes in serious ways. In this specific video, Jay needs to move reticulated python eggs to an incubator. However, the mother snake is fiercely protective of them. Even if you're not a snake expert, you know not to disturb a mother snake who is nesting. But Jay is an expert, so he should know what he's doing, right? Well, let's find out. The snake clearly didn't want to be disturbed, so it tried to attack Jay 3 times, and the last attempt was very close to actually biting him. Jay was just trying to move the snake from its enclosure to the table. How many times did the snake try to bite Jay, though? Well, it was more than 10 times, but you kinda stopped counting after 10. That should be enough to show you that you shouldn't disturb a nesting mother snake. Fortunately, Jay knew what he was doing because none of the strikes actually hit him. A taste reveal. Anacondas are known for their immense size and their appetite for larger prey. Forget about small snacks, anacondas go for the big game, like capybaras, the largest rodents on Earth, and even crocodiles sometimes. However, in this mind-blowing video, the anaconda's craving took it to a whole new level. It decided to take on a massive calf. Right from the start, it's clear that this daring snake may have bitten off more than it could chew. With its jaws tightly clamped onto the calf's underside, it lacks the leverage to deliver the finishing move. A slow and suffocating death by constriction. To make matters worse for our slithery predator, a group of fearless farmers is on the scene, making it highly unlikely that the snake is going to enjoy its meal. In fact, its own life might be at stake. What really shocks us is the location of this epic showdown. Stark reminder that these incredible creatures are rapidly losing their natural habitats, leaving them no choice but to venture out. While you were sleeping. Thailand is known for its abundant snake population, leading to frequent encounters between humans and these slithery creatures. Even in the supposed safety of one's home, as this shocking video demonstrates, snake attacks can still occur. In this particular incident, a grandmother was peacefully asleep when a snake somehow managed to enter her room. Unluckily, her foot happened to be hanging off the bed, making it a prime target for the venomous intruder. The snake swiftly struck at her foot, jolting the sleeping grandma awake. Reacting swiftly, she grabbed a flashlight to identify the culprit behind the sudden attack. With a surge of adrenaline, the grandma stood up and woke her sleeping son, who bravely handled the situation. He successfully managed to remove the snake from the premises, escorting it outside. Later on, the snake was taken to a holding facility before being released back into its natural habitat. The alarming incident serves as a reminder that even within the confines of our own home, we may encounter unexpected wildlife. Stay vigilant and prepared. Wrangling the Wrangler. Burmese pythons are highly dangerous invasive species wreaking havoc in the US, particularly in the Florida Everglades. These enormous serpents possess killer instincts and an insatiable appetite, making them formidable opponents that spare no one from their deadly grip. Even seasoned snake handler Steve Messick is no match for the sheer power of these snakes, as this shocking video demonstrates. Having just captured a massive Burmese python, Steve's world is turned upside down when the snake unexpectedly lunges at him, sinking its fangs directly into his face. In a frantic response, Steve's partner Virginia rushes to fetch tools to free him from the snake's grip. Meanwhile, Steve attempts a daring maneuver, sliding his hand down the python's throat in a desperate attempt to block its airway, hoping for a chance to release himself. Finally, the python releases Steve's face, but its vice-like grip remains on his hands. It takes an unconventional tactic of pouring cranberry juice into the snake's mouth to finally break its hold. Apparently, the taste of cranberry juice is detested by these giant reptiles. Deep Sea Battle. Sea snakes possess a deadly arsenal of highly venomous bites, posing some of the most potent toxins in the animal kingdom. It's ironic that we tend to fear them less than their terrestrial counterparts. However, this upcoming footage might just change that perception, especially when you realize the formidable opponent the snake takes on. As I watched this remarkable video, it felt like witnessing a real-life clash of giants, reminiscent of kaiju battles, albeit on a smaller scale, of course. The confrontation unfolds between a sea snake and another fearsome marine predator, the moray eel. It's a fight that could have gone either way, sparked by the bold initiation of the sea snake. However, in the end, the venomous potency of the snake proved overwhelming for the eel. With a display of sheer strength and tenacity, the snake emerges as the triumphant victor of this epic encounter. Deadly religion. The Full Gospel Tabernacle in Jesus' Name Church in Middlesboro, Kentucky is one religious sect that not only raises eyebrows but also poses potential danger. Remarkably, this church is one of the few remaining in the US that incorporates snake handling into their religious ceremonies. It's undoubtedly a risky endeavor, and while most services conclude without serious snake bites, the title of this video hints at a different outcome entirely. Enter Cody Coots, the church's former pastor. Footage captures one of his customary sermons, except for an unexpected twist. A snake he was handling bites him on the side of his head. Immediately aware of the severity of the bite, he surprisingly rejects the idea of seeking medical help. Instead, he expresses a desire to be taken to the mountains to meet his fate. Thankfully, rationality does prevail, and he's eventually transported to the hospital. Falling into a coma, he remains there for several weeks to recuperate. The snake responsible for the bite was a rattlesnake, the same species that tragically claimed the life of his father, who also served as a pastor in the same church. Boar of a meal. Wild boars became so problematic that they're designated as fair game, requiring no hunting permits. Hunters are free to target them with any weapon of choice, however, a word of caution. These boars possess remarkable aggression and formidable defensive skills. This surpasses common expectations. The allure of a substantial feast, such as a whole pig, proves irresistible to the python lurking in the shadows. Astonishingly, the boar seems oblivious of the snake's presence, an oversight that they will soon regret. With swift precision, the snake pounces on one unsuspecting boar, triggering immediate panic as the others flee in fear. Trapped and helpless, the unfortunate target finds itself ensnared by the snake's coiled body. Sure way to mobilize the boar while the tightening grip suffocates its breath. The feeding ritual commences, a process that typically takes 4 or more hours for a prey of this magnitude. However, this particular boar proves too large for the python to consume entirely, leading it to regurgitate the carcass and abandon the unfinished meal. Weird wrestling. Open in the 1970s, the arrival of Disney World, Florida was a disaster for some of the local tourist attractions in the area at the time. One of the most affected casualties of Disney World's arrival was the Ross Allen Institute nestled in Silver Springs, Florida. This unique establishment was the brainchild of Ross Allen, a renowned herpetologist dedicated to showcasing various reptiles. Picture it as a reptile-exclusive zoo, brimming with fascinating creatures. As attendance at the institute began to dwindle, Ross found himself in a predicament. He needed a spectacle to entice the crowds. Here was his daring solution: wrestling anacondas. To ensure safety, he wisely enlisted the company of his son Tom in these adrenaline-pumping matches. Yet I do have to confess, the presence of Tom may not have made a significant difference, especially if the formidable anacondas chose to view either one of them as both a delectable feast. These unpredictable reptiles possess a voracious appetite that knows no bounds. Right on the kisser. Get ready for a glimpse into a snake show in Phuket, Thailand, where an extraordinary incident unfolded. Our spotlight falls on a 29-year-old Chinese tourist who daringly attempted to plant a kiss on a reticulated python. Little did you know this reptilian star wasn't fond of such public displays of affection. In a swift turn of events, the snake struck back, sinking its fangs right into the woman's nose. Why she ventured to kiss the snakes remains an enigma. Nonetheless, she now carries the painful souvenir of her ill-advised quest for an intimate encounter with a snake. While a bite from a reticulated python may not be life-threatening, those tiny needle-like teeth inflict excruciating pain, leaving an unpleasant mark. But you know what truly stands out in this video? It's not just the woman's unfortunate encounter, but the sheer panic etched on the face of the snake handler who aimed to prevent such a mishap from occurring in the first place. Prompt action followed as the woman was swiftly transported to the hospital. As a form of compensation, she was awarded the equivalent of $3,700, acknowledging the consequences of her daring escapade. I don't think she should have been rewarded, but the world ain't fair. See you all next time.